Hello everyone, welcome to Pelican Academy. Today we're going to be learning about anthropology. Our textbook is going to be OpenStax, so if you want to follow along you can open the textbook. So I want to start off with what is anthropology? Anthropology is the study of humanity. Anthropology aims to overcome bias by examining cultures as complex, integrated products of specific environmental and historical conditions. So, introduction to anthropology. Anthropology explores controversial topics that may challenge individuals' assumption and value. So, what is the goal? The goal of anthropology is to understand the full experience of humanity, including elements that may seem unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Anthropology teaches a set of skills for setting aside personal perspectives and keeping an open mind while learning about the diversity of human practices and ideas. So, right now, I want you to describe anthropology in three separate words. You can write it on your notebook or on a piece of paper. Greetings, everyone. I'm Josephine Tsai, and today we're going to go over Unit 1, Lesson 1, The Study of Humanity, or Anthropology is Vast. So I want to start off with anthropology is everything, but it's not just anything. Anthropology is the study of humanity guided by a distinctive narrative and set of commitments. So anthropologists study every possible realm of human experience, thought, activity, and organization. Humans only engage in social and natural worlds through our human minds and human bodies, such as asking your friends or parents for gifts. Define the study of anthropology. What is anthropology? I want you to write it in one sentence. So, in anthropology, there is a central narrative. Humans beings have developed flexible biological and social features that have worked together in a wide variety of environmental and historical conditions to produce a diversity of cultures. So, is anthropology a narrative? The narrative of anthropology is a true story, a factual narrative about the origins and development of humanity, as well as our contemporary ways of life. So, in anthropology, there are central commitments, and these three central commitments of anthropology forms anthropology. So, in academic study, a commitment is a common goal recognized by the scholars in discipline. So here we have number 1, exploring socio-cultural diversity. Number 2, understanding how societies hold together. And number 3, examining the interdependence of humans and nature. So far, I want you to summarize the guiding narrative of anthropology. So moving on to our first commitment, exploring socio-cultural diversity. So humans in a diversity of conditions create a diversity of cultures. Let's talk more about anthropologists. Anthropologists recognize not only diversity across different cultures, but also the diverse experiences and perspectives within a culture. Anthropologists are committed to describing and understanding the diversity of human ways of life. Anthropologists discover how different cultures devise different solutions to the challenges of human survival, social integration, and the search for meaning. Anthropologists understand that neither way is better, and that each addresses a need within a particular culture. An example is that Casual Friday is great for Americans who crave comfy leisure wear, while National Friday wear is great for Ghanaians who want to boost their local economy and show their cultural pride. So in the image, you see that Ghanaian professionals wearing local fashions to promote the national textile industry. Moving on, although people in a culture share a general set of rules, they interpret them differently according to their social roles and experiences, sometimes stretching the rules in ways that ultimately change them over time. People in every society discuss and argue about their own cultural norms, and anthropology seeks to document and understand the diverse range of solutions to common human challenges as well as the diversity of conflicting perspectives within each culture. So, number two commitment is understanding how societies hold together. So, anthropologists discover that changes in one realm of society are related to changes in another realm in unexpected ways, such as farmers in Ghana began growing coca for export during the colonial period. The agricultural shift dramatically altered gender relations as men monopolized cash crops and women were regulated to vegetable farming for their families' consumption and local trade. As men benefited from the profits of the coca trade, relations between men and women became more unequal. So, holism is anthropologists' favorite word for the way that all elements of human life interrelated to form distinctive cultures. And ancient texts envisions caste as a means of social order, as people in each caste perform different functions and occupations, all working together in harmony. Note, however, that such texts were written down by members of upper caste groups, often the Brahmin scholars. Anthropologists and historians who study the practices of caste argue that the caste system was never such an unitary and dominant force across the country, but rather a flexible, regional, and constantly changing set of identities. So example, during the colonial period, British made the caste system more rigid and antagonistic, offering education and jobs to select caste groups. In the 20th century, many lower castes have resisted their oppression by converting to Christianity or Islam and forming political parties to pressure the government for more opportunities for social advancement. More about anthropologists, sorry. Anthropologists are curious about how different cultures create different categories of people and use those categories to organize the activities of social life. Anthropologists are interested in how society holds together, but also in the conditions that can cause conflict, change, and disintegration. An anthropologist might consider how the perspectives of each group relate to that group's economic experiences, political convictions, and/or religious or moral values. So, commitment number three, examining the interdependence of humans and nature. Archaeologists working in prehistoric sites all over the world have documented how prehistoric people understood celestial objects and used them to navigate their waterways, create calendars and clocks, regulate farming activity, schedule religious ceremonies, and inform political leaders. This area of study is called the archaeoastronomy. So, one prehistoric site is the Easter Island. So, in Chaco Canyon in the American Southwest, archaeologists have discovered that buildings in the major settlement areas were aligned so that certain windows would provide perfect vantage points to view the sun and moon at pivotal times of the year, such as the solstice and the equinox. The people of Chaco Canyon may have been particularly attuned to the features of their environment as they constructed their complex civilization in the challenging environment of the high desert. With the sacred rainfall and brief growing season, and with the onset of a 50-year drought, the ancient peoples of Chaco were forced to abandon the area. The sun dagger, consisting of two world-shaped petroglyphs, stone attaching on the Fajala Butte, is precisely positioned under a rock's surface so as to indicate the solstice and the equinox when the sun shines through the surface. However, tourist foot traffic at the site has altered the width and direction of the surface, so the sun dagger no longer marks these celestial events accurately. But in the bottom, you can see there is a summer solstice, vernal or autumnal equinox, and a winter solstice. Some anthropologists study how people interact with the plants in their area. The field of anthropology examines how people in different cultures categorize and use plants for food, shelter, tools, transportation, art, and religion. Conduct research on plants used in healing to discover the relationship between cultural practices and the pharmaceutical properties of these plants. Examine the cultural of psychoactive plants as mushrooms and peyote in religious ritual. Nature shapes humanity, and humanity shapes nature. Exploring how nature shapes humanity, anthropologists speculate about how aspects of the environment have shaped the emergence and development of human biology, such as our ability to walk, the shape of our teeth, and the size of our brains. So, in more recent archaeological time periods, environmental characteristics have shaped religious beliefs, gender relations, food getting strategies, and political systems. Some archaeologists study how natural events such as volcanic eruptions and droughts have led to mass migration and collapse of empire. So one of the empire in the old times was Pompeii. After the volcano erupted, the city was buried to the ground. As you can see, there's not a lot of structures left. Our environments are shaped by the food-getting methods of our societies, as well as the way we acquire and trade resources such as oil, natural gas, diamonds, and gold. Many anthropologists explore how contemporary ways of life change the natural world at local, regional, and global levels. Farming dramatically impacts ecosystems with the clearing of prairies, wetlands, and forests. Fishing can deplete certain species, changing the whole ecosystem of rivers and coastal waters. Scholars use the term Anthropocene to describe the contemporary period of increasing impact on the ecosystem of our planet. Large-scale pollution, mining, deforestation, ranching, and agriculture are causing dramatic environmental disruption, such as climate change and mass extinction of plant and animal species. Many anthropologists are studying these problems, focusing on how people are working locally, regionally, and globally to promote more sustainable ways of living in our natural world. So, going back, I want you to restate and explain the central commitments of anthropology. Okay, thank you so much for listening to Pelican Academy. The learning outcome is that you should be able to define the study of anthropology in a broadest sense, summarize the guiding narrative of anthropology, and restate and explain the central commitments of anthropology. Thank you so much.